to our top story. Much needed humanitarian aid is beginning to flow into Gaza as a ceasefire holds. The United Nations says almost the entire population of Gaza needs some form of food aid, including 500,000 people who need treatment to address the effects of malnutrition. Joining me now is Jolien Veldwijk. She is the country director for CARE Palestine, which is an international aid organization. Jolien, thank you so much for joining us. Can you describe for us what the situation, as you understand it, looks like on the ground, and how much of an all-hands effort is this?
The situation on the ground is beyond devastating. It's definitely more of an all-hands-on-deck effort than we have ever needed before since the escalation of the crisis in October 2023. For instance, there's severe destruction of infrastructure. There's been the 11 weeks of the aid blockade, that no food has entered Gaza. If I look, for instance, at the clinic that we run and how long it takes us to treat, for instance, children with malnutrition, it takes them months to come out of malnutrition. And it really requires a holistic approach. It's not just about the trucks that are coming in with food. It's about access to safe drinking water. Winter is coming, so it's about winter clothes. People have lost their homes again in the last couple of weeks, which means they're living in tents that are ripped. We need new tents. We need the tarpaulins. We need ways to fix broken tents in case the new tents are not coming in. But we also really need to look at, shelter in a more dignified perspective, because of course so many of the houses have been destroyed as well.
How do you actually get aid into Gaza? And I understand from the United Nations that some of the entry points are still closed. So which entry are you using to get into Gaza? And how will it change your efforts once the Israelis open up more entry points?
This is a very good question, because at the moment, most of the NGOs do not have approval from the Israeli government to bring in their supplies into Gaza. Since the start of the blockade on March the 2nd, none of our supplies have been allowed to enter Gaza, so we've had to bring them back to warehouses, which are in Egypt, in Jordan, in the West Bank. We have also for CARE, we have 10 shelter supplies, medicine, hygiene kits ready to go in. And it requires Israeli approval for the organization, but also for the items that you bring in. But it also requires approval for the corridor that you want to use, which is tied in with the border crossings. And all border crossings need to be open in order for us to effectively reach all parts of the Gaza Strip, and especially in the north, where the destruction, of course, has been so significant. We've seen already a lot of people move back from the south to the north, so it's really important that also the northern border crossings are open for aid to come in, so we can reach everyone in need.
How long is this emergency aid needed for? I mean, what will happen? What happens when it runs out? I mean, do you have enough?
No, we don't have enough. And I worry that even, the number of trucks that is agreed to is not enough, especially because it's not just about the supplies, it's also about the destruction of the infrastructure. So we also need tools. We need machinery for the rubble to be removed, for a dignified shelter to be built. We need a holistic approach to aid. So it's about food, but it's also about safe drinking water. We need fuel for the trucks. We need desalination units to clean the water to make sure it's safe for people to drink.
Yeah, it's such a critical effort that you are undertaking, and it's much needed now. But the good news is, of course, that aid is finally flowing into the people who desperately need it, thanks to organizations like yours. Jolien Veldwijk, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.